Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, the seekers. We're my seekers and the sojourners of truth. The 144, chosen of the chosen of the chosen few, and you and you and you. You know who you are. I greet you in the love that lights the truth from my heart to yours. I'm Aquila texturing the divine energy essence of it all. The essence. I want us to hold on to that word, essence, today, tonight, right? And as usual, I'm reporting to you live from 5D. Who is in the 5D house with me? Where the 5D people at? We always talk, we got a lot of talk about 5D, but where the real 5D people at? With my real 5D, please stand up, because it's time for us to be at our stations. It's already been time. Like, I feel like a boss like, hey, since 2020, you should have been at your station. You know, when you got your 2020 vision, your 2020 goggles, right? When life slapped you upside the head and said, hello, 5D, them type of people. So as usual, I come to bring you the news to infuse, if you so choose, to light up on this light grid. Light grid activation on, right? Activate or get fried. Right? So let's talk about these dormant. I want to talk about dormant loosh. Like a lot of us, I've been talking about loosh, and y'all, like I said, y'all gonna hear me talk about it more. That's gonna be the language, the key word for my real 5D people to know. Ooh, you looshing. Ooh, I see loosh. Ooh, that's loosh. Ooh, you need to douche the loosh. It's looshing, right? Loosh. There's dormant loosh, and I'm talking about that today because let me share. I want to do more sharing of reality, because I don't just talk just to talk, right? I'm not about the shadows of the age of the Aquarian. I am about the evolved aspect of the age of the Aquarian age, right? The shadows is just people who are hoarding information, who are either just getting information, giving information, but we're not doing what we need to do with this information. I'm about the doing. I am amongst the doers, not just the seers, the doers, not just the speakers, the doers. All right, not just the hearers, the doers. So I want to share, with that said, I want to share more. I'm being called or led to share more of just my personal walk in the park, in this 5D park. So you see, it's not just when I tell you things, a lot of it is not just a download. It is also what I experience. Experience teaches wisdom. So it's download plus experience. It's not just information I'm getting and being like, here. It's something that I can testify to. I got a testimony, and it ain't phony. It's real testimony right here, walking the walk. So I'm sharing what I had today because it involved the loosh. It involved me seeing the loosh at another aspect and breaking it down with my children. Things that I tell you, believe me, I talk about it with my children down to the 4-year-old, and they all get it. They all do, mainly the older two, but they all pretty much get when they like, you looshing. Oh, they know what mama talking about. They know what mommy is saying. So we come out. It was raining today. It started raining down real hard before we could get out. We were supposed to go somewhere. We wait on the rain to calm down. We get out. And when we come out, they're all looking in amazement like, ooh, look at the steam coming off the top of the houses. I don't know how many of you guys have noticed that. I personally had started noticing it in the past couple of months. Like I'm being outside and I'm literally seeing the steam come off the roof after a nice downpour, right? Especially if it's been hot. A nice downpour comes down and we look down the block and sure enough, all this, you just see this steam. It looked like a mist of like a light mist or a light fog coming over the rooftop, just passing, coming off the rooftop, coming off the top of cars, some of the cars, but mainly all the rooftops, right? And I noticed one rooftop because it was really, really new. Ooh, even that's a word. Let me look at that for a minute. I'm getting something as I'm saying it to you. Ooh, okay, let's go with it. All right, spirit. There is some more coming off of the roof than others. Some have a heavy, you can see a heavier mist. Some it's just a light mist. And then there was one, like I said, that had no mist, but I noticed because the roof was really, really new. It had been renewed, redone over, right? So the older rooftops seem to carry more, seem to have more. So why am I saying all of this? Because the loosh, as I've explained it, is something that comes off of our energetic body. It comes out of our energy in motion that we have welled inside of us. The easiest way to explain it, like I said, is if you are a pot, we are the pot. Let's look at that example. And the water in there is your emotions, your energy in motion. Some have a big pot of water, some got a little pot of water, but you know, that water represents your emotions. When the pot gets turned on, when the frequency picks up, it heats up the pot, the loosh, you start boiling, and eventually you see the loosh, right? So why I'm talking about the dormant loosh, because there's loosh that lies in us that's dormant. Notice the word lies. It's lying, right? There's lies within us that hold us and that block us from even seeing that loosh. But in this case, it lies dormant. Because of the lies, it is dormant. You take it however it works for you, but because of the lies, it's dormant. So this dormant loosh means this loosh, this essence. There's the word essence. This essence, the essence is that invisible aspect of you, right? The particles in you that are like just the essence of you, right? The inner essence is the best way I could say it. The loosh is like this essence that is within you. It's invisible, it's there, it's lying dormant, and you never see the loosh until there is a catalyst. Something has to be a catalyst, right? A situation catalyzes you seeing the loosh. Not only just a situation, but the components, which is one, you need these two things to see loosh. You need the feelings, you need the emotions, the energy in motion that is sitting in you, and you need the heat, the sun, the light energy and information. That light energy and information that acts as our sun is what heats up some things. So what happens with the roof is the roof was preheated, as I explained to my children. It was preheated already, because the sun was already beaming on the roof. The sun was already sending its frequencies to the roof. And I'm not just talking about hot. When I say sun, I want us to understand I'm talking about light energy information. That's the heat. The heat is on. Like I'm hearing in my head, the heat is on. The heat is on. That's for my throwback people. So the heat is preheating, right? Some of us, and when I say house, I want us to be esoteric with this and what I'm saying. Understand that house also represents your consciousness. Land also represents consciousness. So when you see in the book, in the Bible, when you see where it says land, they're talking about a particular place of consciousness, right? House, us, the house equals your consciousness as well. This is metaphysically speaking. So that rooftop, if you look at it like that, that rooftop is being preheated. So the rooftop, our crowns are already being preheated, right? When the sun comes in, it's coming in like this. It's coming in at the top, right? Off the dome, right? The dome. Why did I have to say it like that? But off the dome or on the dome. And so you're preheated. So the only way you see the loosh is when the water gets poured. When it rains now. When it rains, it pours. When it rains, storm. Like I'm looking at it like that. When the storm happens. And that's usually a situation. So whatever that situation is that caused the rain, or as my daughter put it, because I'm explaining it to you like I told it to my daughter. So as my daughter put it, she was like, or like when you cry. Yes, because crying is coming from a situation, right? Something that happened. So whatever that situation is, it comes through the tears. The tears are portals to your soul. The tears help you connect back to the memory. There's something in your memory complex that activates the tears. There's a reason why you're crying, and it's not just because of that outside thing, right? But either way, the rain kind of represents that. The tears, the storms, all of that. So when the water falls on top of what's already preheated, you now see the mist, the loosh. Before that happens, as I asked my children, is the loosh there? because I had what I first explained to them, well, at the end of it, when I got through the end of it, telling them that it's not the sun that causes the loosh, right? The sun acts as a catalyst. It helps. But ultimately, where is this loosh coming from? And then they were able to see the water in me. The water that is in me, the energy in motion that is in me. When y'all think water, you got to think that's also the energy, the currency of water, the currency of the air, right? Because the air is water too. Y'all don't think we not out here breathing water. Check the compounds. They're very, very similar, right? So, and that's why it can recycle into the air. Y'all look at the what do they call it? The precipitation. I want to say reciprocate. That's the word that's in me, but I'm thinking of the cycle, the prescribe. That's not it either. Y'all know what I'm talking about, but all I could hear is reciprocate. So that word reciprocate is blocking precipitation. I think that's it. Is that it? But either way, that cycle. Water comes down and goes back into the air. Water comes down and goes back into the air, and the heat brings it back up. All of that. Anyway, I say all that to say this. I want us to think about the things that are happening, because how I had to explain it to them was there is water already in us. If there's two ways, this allowed me to explain two ways of this looshing, because the way I explained it was always as if you had water already in you. The water in the pot, the emotions in the pot, the energy that is already sitting in the pot and just gets boiled up when the frequencies turned up. And for a lot of us, consider those frequencies when 5D, when we started to embark on 5D. After 2020, the frequencies really got cranked up. During the Great Awakening, the frequencies accelerated. You can listen to it. You hear different people talk about it. You'll hear certain people say the frequencies are accelerating, right? We're getting these solar flares. Those solar flares are what's coming off of the sun. That is the frequencies. We getting fifth density light. Those are the frequencies. All of that is the frequencies being turned up. So consider it, since about the last 4 years at least, the frequency has really got, cranked up. So a lot of us have been preheated since 2020, like the roof, right? But I digress. Before I get to the preheat, the first way is the way I explained it with the water in the pot. The water's already in the pot boiling, and when the frequencies get turned up, then the loosh that has already been sitting there from years. It could be from childhood. It could be energy. It's different types of waters all up in you. So it could be from when you were a child. Don't think of it as just being one thing, one way, right? Multidimensional. I'm speaking multidimensionals. So it could be from when you were a child. It could be from 5 years ago, 3 years ago, last week, whatever it is. There's something, in that pot. The waters are sitting there. That's one way. The second way is the way that we witnessed it today, where there's already a preheated, the sun has been beaming on the top of the roof. So it's been preheating. Preheating. So the frequency that's been coming in and heating and warming up, the light energy information that has been coming in has already preheated. The light energy information coming into our domes, our crowns, to the roof of our consciousness is already preheated. So now when a situation happens, when you pour on that water, as I explained to them, it's as if the same pot example I gave them, let's say the pot didn't have any water and the pot is on the stove. We turn on as the frequencies come up. Now the pot is being preheated. So now when I drop some water in the pot, what are you going to see? And then she said it. Oh, the steam. Exactly. So that's what we're seeing off the top of the roof. Once it rains, once any situation happens, you're crying, tears, because tears, consider your tears like when it rains. And then here it comes. Here comes the loosh. Now you can see the loosh because you dropped that water on the preheated hot pot, hot stove, hot roof, however you want to look at it. And then you see the loosh. So those are the two ways. Either the water's already been sitting there or it's getting poured on. And then here's the thing, it can also be two things happening. It could be both of those ways happening, because it can be something that you already had, emotions in you that you already had sitting in that pot frequencies getting turned up. So light energy information is highlighting this energy and motion inside of you. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be a TV show that you watch. It's a trigger. There we go. There's something that triggers it. So it's already in you, and then there's the trigger, a situation. So the emotions are already there. Now here comes the trigger, which is, you know, the situation that is now happening. Now you have a hot pot, water's boiling, you already have a situation, turn up the frequencies, the water's boiling, you already loosen from that, right? And then let's say now look at it as the top of your dome. You already preheated, stuff already boiling inside of you. And let's say, kind of look at this like the cover. You know, now there's a cover on the pot, and the top of that pot is hot, right? Think of like an iron pot, a Dutch pot, and the top of it is real hot, and you already got boiling water inside, and you're loosened from condensing and whatever is happening in there. And then the top is really hot, and you pour a situation, pour some water on that, and then shh. And now you got double loosh. You got loosh from in the pot that is coming up, and then you have a situation that's pouring on top of an already preheated pot, and then now you see the loosh from that. So it could be both ways for some people, right? And so I say that so that we understand, okay, what does this look like for me? Think about it. And I'm gonna give it to you just like I gave it to my girls. I asked both of them, think about what happened a couple years ago, something that was bothering you a couple years ago, because that's the water in your pot. So, and this invites us to explore the things that we have sitting on, because these are the things we need to deal with to get rid of the dark matter, right? If you want to work on getting a better CPU and clearing your channel so that you can receive this 5 density light without getting fried on the grid, on the light grid activation, we got to get rid of this old programming, this unsolved stuff, these unhealed wounds. And these unhealed wounds are the dormant loosh. Right? So you're always looshing. You just don't see it until something brings it to light, until the catalyst of the heat being turned up with the water that causes the loosh, right? But don't get it twisted. It's not the heat, it's you already looshing. The heat just speeds up the process, because even without the heat, it's going to come out at some point. It's just that you can hold it a little bit better. But when the heat gets cranked up, it's going to start, you know, you're going to see that essence. So what I asked them, and I'm saying this to you as a practice, you can do this as well. Think about, what is it in my past that I've been holding? What is something that affected me or made me feel some type of way, or that I'm holding in my emotions? And you got to be a big girl. You got to be a big man. You got to be willing to admit that this is in you. You may want to journal while doing this. You may want to write it down, because some of us, we get the truth, but because the ego's so strong and ready to run, even when you bring the truth to the forefront, something else will come and you kind of cover it, or you run, duck, and hide. No, have that pen ready and write it down as soon as it come out. Ain't no takesy backsies. Ain't no going back on it, right? No ducking and hiding. So ask yourself the question. Ask from your higher self, your higher heart, and say, you know what? What is something I've been holding? What is something that has been bothering me from way back then? That's been sitting in your pot. It may be more than one thing, but ask yourself what this thing, ask yourself, your higher self, to allow this to be revealed to you. And then jot that down, write that down. Right? And then now look at right now, what is a trigger you have right now that may be agitating that thing, right? Think about, you can even do it in the sense of, you can think about a situation that you may be in right now and ask yourself, what is it? Where is it that I'm holding some feelings about this situation? Ask yourself, with this situation, how do I feel? How does it make me feel? And then, when did I first have these feelings? Like, I'm giving y'all some workshop tools right now, to be honest, but when did I first feel this feeling? Or how long as far as you can remember, where have I been holding some feelings that this was like a pet peeve for me or something? And, you know, jot that down, write that down, and then look at the now moment and see, what is the water that's being poured on? What's the situation, which is the rain that's coming in now, because you preheated, right? You're preheated now. So what's the situation? because you have the frequency's been turned up. You've been getting more aware. When the frequency turns up, you become more aware. That's another way that I explained it to them. It's not all bad. It's light energy information, so you become more aware. And when you're more aware, things don't settle with you the way that they used to settle with you before. So you become uncomfortable. You start to see the loosh. It doesn't sit with you the same anymore. It can no longer be dormant loosh just sitting there. You're going to start to see it, its essence oozing. So what is it in the situation that's causing that right now? What is it that as it pours in, I'm seeing the loosh, right? That loosh lets you know what it really is. If you don't see the loosh, we're not going to know what it is. And I explained it to my children. We were looking at a building after the fact, and I said, look at this building now, right? Because I'm explaining to them that the loosh is already there. The only thing that allows us to see it is because the frequency, the heat gets turned up. But we have the feelings. It cannot, even with the heat getting turned up, you will not see anything unless we have the water, unless we put water on it or have water already boiling. So unless we put the emotion on it or already have emotions boiling, you get it? So now with that said, they understand, hey, the loosh is already there. It's already in me. It's dormant. Look at that building across the street. Do you see any loosh? No. Is there loosh in that building, in that consciousness? Yep. When are we going to see it? When the rain hits the top of that roof? Because it's being preheat. I said, is the sun out right now? Yeah, it's preheating the roof. So how are we going to see the loosh? How are we going to see it? And I want you to think about you. Are you looshing? And they were like, yeah. So once we saw it in the building and they saw it, yeah, the building has the loosh. You just can't see it until the rain comes, until a situation happens. So this is why sometimes we got to bless the situations. We got to be appreciative for the situations, because experience teaches the wisdom. If you don't have that situation, you won't even know that that essence of loosh is that dormant loosh. You won't even know you got dormant loosh, right? Think of even like cancer. Like some people don't realize that dormant cancer, you know, it's dormant until it's not dormant no more, right? Until it becomes activated. Something activates that, but it's laying there dormant, and that's your warning. When you recognize something laying there dormant, don't just say, oh, it's okay, it's dormant. No, it's time to get rid of something. It's time to do the work before it becomes active, before it moves from a dormant state to an active state, an active volcano, right? So as I said that to them, I brought it to them, because whatever we teach on the outside, you got to be able to bring it to yourself. So on the outside, yes, we see that on the house. Now you being the house, your consciousness is the house. So let's look at you. Do you see any loosh over you right now? Over me? No. But is there loosh there? Yeah. So how am I going to see it? When it rains, or when there's a situation, when the heat gets turned up, as they said, when the frequencies get turned up, right? It's already cranking up. We're already aware. We're more aware. The frequencies are accelerating. So now when you really in the heat of the frequencies, plus more water gets poured on the situation, because we're already preheated, then you'll see it. And I say this because it's really important for us to catch our dormant loosh. We got dormant loosh out there. So when you see it, be like, oh, ooh, you looshing. And remember, once you start looshing, it's not only you that's seeing it. You need to beat the opposition energy. Because this how like I said before, the demon, the opposition energy, bloodthirsty sharks that they are, the moment that loosh comes off of the top of the building, the moment they see that, remember, you can't see it. I want us to grab hold of this. You don't see it until something happens. But the opposition energy sees it, senses it. It doesn't need a situation to happen, because the opposition energy is the situation. The opposition energy works through situations, because it goes through people at their weakest point. Remember, you're as strong as your weakest link. And so it utilizes those weak fences that you have. So it doesn't need a situation. But if you got some dormant loosh in you, guess who's seeing it? Guess who's attaching to it? Yes, that opposition energy, that parasitic energy that attaches itself to your spine. Because why? Your spine is the central highway That comes from your CPU, your central highway that knows, that senses, that sends all your sensations through your spine. All of your feelings. That means your energy is in motion constantly through your spine. Your tree of life. Your tree of life. Right? Kemetically speaking, you are the pyramid. Right? I got to do a whole different topic on that. But you got to know that you're the pyramid. You are the tree of life. Your spine is the tree of life. So when you have a Loosh dormant inside of you, which is in your energy, it is the essence inside of your energy. You already can't see your energy in motion. You already can't see your emotions or your feelings, let alone the essence of your energy and your emotions. But who's sensing it? That opposition parasitic energy. So while you don't catch it, they're catching it. So I say this to say this. We got to be the ones to beat them to it. It's you. It's your life, world, and affairs. Why are we letting the opposition energy or the parasitic energy get to our Loosh before us? Why are we not making it a priority to tap in and see that Loosh? And this is the only way we're going to be able to remove the dark matter. All of these frequencies that's coming in, these portals, we have many opportunities. We have the moon to work with. We have astrology. We got the cosmos guiding us through a cosmic map. We got energetic portals and vortexes to jump. We got opportunities to quantum leap through the timelines in our soul. We got all these opportunities. There is no excuse. But yet we're walking around with dormant Loosh. Why do we want to keep that? Because life is fun and life is pretty. Right? It's not just about having surface level fun. We could have fun, but look at how much more fun it is when you are free, when you are a soul sovereign in your soul sovereignty, when you are removing the dark matter, the soot. It's like soot on your soul. Y'all gotta listen to Molly McCoy. Y'all look up Molly McCoy. There was something she did recently speaking about you being the pyramids, and this is something I've been speaking about already. Right? Last year, I believe I did something about the pyramids, but she did a recent download that she got speaking about it, and listen to that. And when you do, you'll see there's a part where she says they're showing me black tar, like on your, I don't know if she said on your spine, but black tar on you, right? On your soul. So, and that's what I call the soot on the soul. It's black, and it's the soot that we got to get off of our soul. And that only happens when you're really ready to go in and break up that dark matter, that energy in motion, that dormant Loosh inside of you. So, you know, douche the Loosh, because people out here Looshing, and be willing to recognize it and see it. It's not just the one in the water. We have preheated, you know, domes, where as the water pours in, you have the opportunity. The word that came up to me too for the day is opportunity. You got the opportunity to catch it when you see that Loosh. So feel yourself when it's like, ooh, I think I'm boiling. I think I'm boiling. That means I'm Looshing. And I want us to keep this in mind. Looshing is not just bad. It's not just when you're angry. It's not just when you're mad. It's also when you're happy. I want us to, the whole side of that, I had to explain it to my daughter. Some people be happy, but they don't really be happy. Their happy is a cover-up. Their happy is to cover up the Loosh that they're hiding, that dormant Loosh that is lying. Remember? Lying. So when they're happy, they're lying to themselves and keeping that dormant Loosh lying within them. So even when you're happy, we got to chin check all of our emotions. Why are you happy? I'm not saying you can't be happy, but double check that. Why am I so excited? Wait a minute. Am I Looshing? Because the demonic aspect of you will get happy, because it's getting what it wants, especially if you're being a spoiled soul. It's getting what it wants. So you like, yeah, ooh, I feel good. Of course you feel good. You Looshing. You're not paying attention to why you feel good. But there's some dormant Loosh that's laying there, and you're catering to it. You're enabling, you're enabling the parasitic energy. And so you're Looshing. So be mindful of all emotions, the good, the bad, the ugly. We got to have this third eye popped wide open and be ready to see it. Those of you who got your clairs on, I'm speaking to my people with my clairs, clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyant, the one with the nose. I always forget it, but that, the clair nose one, the smellers, because you could smell it. It stinks. I know you can. You might be next to somebody and they stink and you don't know why. They may not physically be stink to other people. You may even smell their cologne and their perfume, but for some reason you smell their stink. That's because they're Lucian. And because you're clear nose, you smell it as a stench, right? For someone who's clear sentient, they will feel icky. And that person may look clean, churchgoers, you know, something that's just crisp, but they feel icky. You feel in the Loosh, right? For those of you who are clairvoyant, you may see gray around them. You may see whatever the color, because colors, I know, mean to different things to different people. So I don't want to tell nobody what their colors are. You know what the colors are when it don't look good around them. So you may see someone on the outside that's looking real nice and dapper, but their colors are not good. They're looshing, right? So people are looshing in many ways. In whatever way you sense it, do not deny your senses. You got to be sharp in your senses, sharp sensory, to be able to discern. I believe that's also in the good book. Someone dropped that word on me today and I was like, yep, because we're talking about senses. So you got to have a sharp sensory. Sharpen your sensors is what it was saying. Sharpen your sensors so that you can discern. Your sensory is all the ways that you feel. Whatever way you feel things. Sight, hearing, sound, insight, the sixth sense, whatever sense you're using. Your spine, that is the highway of all your sensories. Sharpen your sensors so that you have a keen sight to be discerning and be able to see what is what inside of you and what is what around you. What is what in your crew. What is what in everybody around you. Right? So that's my piece on the dormant Loosh. I actually wanted to talk more about the number 6 that had been coming up. So I'll have to do that in the next video, because this came up today and was really pressing on me that I gotta, you know, speak about this dormant Loosh. So, and I'm going to do more where I'm just sharing with you how we have dealt with some things, because this is a family thing for me with my children, my partner, family, all of us together. We do our soul work together. This is not just talk. Like I said, I'm a doer. So I share that with you so you have that just as a backdrop, as a reference. There you go, as a reference to whatever it is you may be doing. Something like, well, how do I do it? How do I check the dark matter? Things like that. How do I know if I got dormant Loosh? Well, you won't know because it's dormant. So think the challenges. The challenges are the opportunities, the situations that cause you to cry. Those situations that cause the rain, the waters to fall. Waterfalls, waterfalls, waterfalls. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Right? Those situations, allow it to happen, because it's a beautiful opportunity for you to see the Loosh, my soul seekers, sojourners. And with that said, I'm gonna leave it right there. Go ahead and go find that dormant Loosh, because you all Lucian. We all got it. Ain't nobody, you know, no one is exempt, right? We're all susceptible. We just got to do that work. So each one reach one, teach one. Oh, before I exit out, please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and comment if you dare. Let me know what you know about the Loosh. Have you been noticing the Loosh? How many of you have been seeing the Loosh coming? I'm calling it the Loosh. I know it's steam off the rooftop. I get it. My scientific people that may want to be like, all that is I get it. I know what it is, but it has an esoteric meaning. It has a metaphysical meaning, and it's highlighting what's happening around us. So you better open this eye right here and pay attention. Nothing is as just what it seems. Okay? It's deeper than that. Better know how to go deep. Right? So I want to know if anyone else has been noticing this. I know I'm not the only one who has been noticing the Loosh when you see it just coming off the rooftops at a very physical meaning and example. Like, just kind of let me know what y'all been noticing. I know I'm not the only one. So with that, now I would say Each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start, start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out, out and about, right? And be the candle that lights the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And remember, douche the loosh. Peace, love, and light.